Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this Bulls Update. We are on the brink of the start of the men's tennis season, so it's a good chance for us to catch up with head coach Lee Nicol in his 8th year here at UB. And I think, Lee, you might tell me this one might be one of your biggest challenges because of the turnover of your lineup this year.
Yeah. I'd say it's a challenge, but it's fun. It's like a whole new program.
Right. So you got the opener at Cornell on the 19th. How ready are your guys? How much work have you been putting in to get everybody ready?
Well, the guys got back pretty much yesterday, the day before. We've gotten in a couple practices, and we know that this is the most talented group we've ever had. We've got guys with ATP points. We've got #1 player from Malaysia. We've got a kid that played one at Monmouth last year. It's a really talented crew, but until we put them in a dual match situation, we have no clue what's going to happen. So.
Right. Well, success is certainly something that everyone around here is used to. 2014 and 15, you win the MAC title. Last year, you exceed the expectations and go into the MAC tournament as the #2 seed. So even the guys that are new, I would sense already know that there's a standard that is set here that they have to live up to.
Sure. I think our NCAA run 2 years ago is starting to pay off in terms of recruiting. The recruiting class that we had is definitely the best recruiting class we've ever had. And it took a little time to get that together, but we certainly can see it with the level of talent that we have and the work ethic. It's just a great crew.
Right. Before we run down the players, and you have 2 returners and 6 newcomers, you also have a new coach. I want you to tell us a little bit about how Matt's been helping you.
Yeah, Matt Lucas is our associate head coach. He and I have known each other since we were 16 years old, competed against each other. His record is pretty much undefeated against me in tennis, so it's a little intimidating to have him on as the assistant. But having Matt here, who's been the assistant for a top 16 program, as a head coach of a top 50 program, is just paying off impressively for us and what the guys are learning and what I'm learning from them. So It's great to have him here.
Guess what? You're the head coach, so Matt needs to know he can't beat you anymore. So make sure he figures that out.
Right, exactly.
All right, tell us about the 2 guys you have coming back.
So Tony Miller and Ethan Natola are both from New York, and they're our captains this year. Tony Miller's the senior, and I can't express how proud I am of him to get to this point. He's been through a lot, and I'm expecting him to really kind of surprise people this year. He's ready to come in and do it. Ethan has been on the cusp of breaking through into a top portion of our lineup. Had some match or big leads this fall on some really good players, some guys that were top 50 in the world in the juniors, and just getting him to close out. But both of those guys are doing a tremendous job leading these young guys through.
All right, and then, as you said, 6 newcomers on the squad, and the first one I want you to talk a little about is somebody that you're really excited about, and that's Hao Sheng Koi.
Yeah, Hao Sheng has been a pleasant surprise. I didn't know what we were getting. We've never really recruited from Asia before. And so getting him in here, and he just stepped in. He won his first tournament at Binghamton. His record was 9-2 in singles, beat some former #1s, the #1 from Western this fall as well. So he's come in and really outshined expectations for us, which has been fun.
And you mentioned it briefly. You've got a transfer coming in, and that's Vidit Vigala. What are you expecting out of Vidit?
It's a dream come true for us to get Vidit, just in terms of his character and his aspirations to play after school. His work ethic is tremendous, and it's so exciting to have him here for 2 years and to be a good leader on this team.
And some of the other names that we can keep an eye out for?
Filip Grbic is from Serbia, has come in, and he was probably one of the most highly touted recruits last year coming out. So we were really lucky to have him. His talent is there, and he's a big lefty. He's my size. Has got all the talent in the world, and had to take a year off last year, so he's just kind of getting right back into the swing of things. We've got Petr Vodak, who has some ATP points from Czech Republic. Just unbelievable in terms of academics and in terms of his tennis. It's just the full package, complete package. We've got Dino Sakiris from Greece, who is down at the Bollettieri Tennis Academy, and he's a tremendous hard worker. And last but not least, of course, is Willy Friedel, who's from Sweden, who's Mr. Socialite, is walking around here, knows everybody, but will walk on his toes when he's playing. Just walks around like he owns the place when he's playing tennis. tennis and has had some really good wins for us as well. So it's a cast of characters. They're all, but they all listen and do what we ask them to do, and it's so much fun to work with them.
Yeah, and it's a United Nations lineup as well, too.
For sure
as you're rattling it off,
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Always.
You've got guys from all kinds of different countries and all walks of life, and I'm sure that makes it fun, right?
It does. It does. It's good for all the student athletes, at least on the team, to experience other cultures and to see that. Like they grow and they all become best friends, and they all travel to see each other and do that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of fun to see. I've seen that since I was at Bama till now. In terms of recruiting internationally, is the relationships and the culture and everything that you get is so beneficial.
Your first 5 matches are on the road. You're going to argue a little bit about where to go out to dinner, what kind of food you're going to go out to dinner for?
No, they're not picky. They'll take whatever we can give them. But
Gotcha.
yeah, they're road warriors, so they got to get used to that.
All right, and finally, what are you expecting for this first match coming up at Cornell?
No clue.
Yep.
No clue. I mean, Cornell is going to be a top 25 level team, as this year is probably their best year. So we're going to go in there and just lay it out on the line and see where we stand. With our first 5 matches, we've got Cornell and Columbia, who are both top 25 level teams. Yale, Brown, and then we've got Princeton coming up. So we've got a really tough start to the season. So we'll, hopefully as we go in there, if we're not picking teams off, we're learning each match to kind of figure out what we need to do once we get into the MAC.
Got it. A little tour of the Ivy League to get the season started for Lee Nichols' UB men's tennis team. Looking forward to getting some updates for you as we move forward, Lee. Congratulations and good luck on the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We thank Lee for joining us. That has been our first men's tennis Bulls update.